Hi, welcome to another episode of Think About It. And I'm Jeff Green, I'm the Dean of the Graduate School. I'm joined today by Dr. Russ Hemati here at Houston Christian University.
It's my pleasure to be here.
That's great. So Russ, you've had a number of different jobs and things you've done in your time here at HC. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about kind of your career?
Yeah, so I got here in 2008. I had taught at Baylor University for a few years while I was finishing up my dissertation. And then I've been in the philosophy department and its many different incarnations for a while in the School of Christian Thought and now at the College of Arts and Humanities. And I've served as chair and I've been on all sorts of interesting special projects, but now I get to be a normal philosophy professor and teach giant classes full of freshmen, and it's a lot of fun.
That's great, that's great. And you're doing something with games. Is that right?
Yes, so we have a club on campus. It's mostly engineering students, and they do a combination of robotics and esports. And so I'm the esports sponsor, which usually means coming up with interesting prizes for the tournaments. Right now, the big game on campus is Smash Ultimate. So, are you a Nintendo guy or you're an Xbox guy?
But tell us, about the Smash Ultimate.
It's like the fighting games that we all got in trouble for playing when we were kids, but with like very cartoony. It's not like the blood stuff that people get worried about. So all your favorite characters from the Nintendo world, Mario and Luigi and all these, Donkey Kong is in it. And so we have these tournaments. It's really fun for two players, and we've had some ladder stuff, and we're working on more connections with other universities in town to build kind of an esports.
A nice community.
Yeah, especially in Houston. Like, there's so many wonderful gamers here.
Yeah, no, that's great. So I'm so glad you've done so many different things. And you've also worked with our graduate students here as well?
Yeah, right now I'm the coordinator for the MA Philosophy program.
Right.
And it's a really neat program. It's we've done a good job placing students who want to go on to get their PhD.
Okay.
But also for students who just want to get that philosophy education for their own reasons. One of our strongest students right now is actually planning to go into ministry, and they feel like that they're better able to articulate their beliefs and also to defend their beliefs through a philosophy program than they would just through theology.
Okay.
So it's been a fun process working with these students.
Now, I think you teach something called aesthetics occasionally.
Yes.
So tell us what that is and tell us more about that.
Aesthetics, yeah. So it's the philosophy of art and beauty.
Okay.
And it's I think it's kind of ignored sometimes within philosophy circles. Everyone gets involved in the very juicy topics of like what's real.
Yeah.
How can we know anything?
What is real?
Or is there any difference between good and evil? And how will we find out? And who gets to decide? I mean, these are the ones that people get really mad at each other over, which I think, philosophers love that kind of thing. But most people have a default view that beauty is just in the eye of the beholder. That there's no story there. Just if you like it, then it's beautiful, and if not, it doesn't matter. And so thinking more deeply about that, understanding what the value is, what role art plays in our society and culture, how it can change things, transform things, open our eyes to new possibilities. Right. So it's a lot of fun to teach that. This last time, over half the students in the class were art students.
Oh, interesting.
So, and for their final projects, they built sculptures, painted, all sorts of things related to the ideas from the class. So it was a lot of fun to do that one.
And they're in our graduate art program too.
Yes, the
MFA.
Master of Fine Arts,
Yeah,
studio art.
Studio art,
yeah.
That's right. Doing all sorts of great things.
You have studio art and we have those narrative arts.
Yeah, we do have the narrative arts too. We have screenwriting and we have fiction, a variety of other things. Nonfiction, I think you can do both. You can talk about both things. Do that. Well, it's good. Have you ever taught in our Masters of Liberal Arts program? Or had students from it?
I did.
Yeah.
1 year I taught a medieval world class. And so my background is in Augustine. So right there at the beginning of the medieval period, people argue about whether he counts or not. But so we did Augustine and Aquinas, and we read Dante, and it was great. It was mostly literary and historical stuff.
Right.
So it was an interesting challenge. I'm not a Dante scholar, so I had to do a lot of reading. Yeah. Because some of the people in that room, people who were involved in MLA, are really passionate about this stuff. I couldn't appear weak in front of them,
You couldn't fake it. You really had to know it.
You had to.
That's great. That's great. Well, excellent. Yeah, you've done a lot of different projects around here and different things like that. When you think about philosophy, philosophy's kind of a funny sort of degree in that a lot of people are worried about it, either undergrad or grad, like, what's the difference between a philosophy degree and pizza? Well, pizza at least can feed you. So people worry about these things. What is philosophy anyway? Is it useful? So why should people do philosophy? I mean, what use is it?
Yeah, it's really funny that you asked me this because this is not new.
Right.
Have you ever played the board game Life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you go around in a little car and different things happen.
You have your little career choices.
Yeah.
I love the ones where it's like, your insurance pays out on something like $100,000, and then you have to pay it because your uncle buys a goat farm or something.
Yeah.
So the last part of that, when you come around to the very end, and if you play this game, you'll know this. At the very end, there's two outcomes. Either you become a tycoon, you're the multimillionaire, you win. Or if you lose, you retire to the country and become a philosopher.
Ha!
The philosopher is the loser choice in the game of life.
I don't think I remember that from the game of life.
Go back and play it. It's oddly sobering. It's like, So I grew up playing this game. This is one of our family's favorite ones. So it was emotionally difficult for me to become a philosophy major because I still had this association with being the loser. But philosophy really, it's the oldest discipline. And it deals with, the name of it means the love of wisdom. So it's not so much like a specific course of study as it is a set of attitudes or desires. Mm-hmm. That the worst thing that can happen to someone isn't that like they lose money or if they become ill or something, but the worst thing that could happen to someone is that they become foolish. And this is something that for a Christian university, the Bible has the book of Proverbs where wisdom is extolled as like the most valuable thing. Like what are you supposed to do? The advice in the book of Proverbs is, young man, go get wisdom. And through a philosophy degree, I think, especially at a Christian university like ours, we can try to do that, right? Try to engage the deepest and most important questions. And they turn out to be practical ones. It's not possible to think very deeply about like the nature of right and wrong or what people owe to each other or what a good society should look like. Not which societies have done well in the past, but how could we create something where we're able to treat each other with more dignity and respect? Right. And then have that not affect what you do as a career. So philosophy has traditionally been a great jumping off point for going to law school. There's a really funny, I used to work in the .com era, so this is dating me a little bit.
You're like a tech entrepreneur, really.
Used to be. This is a long time ago, so this was back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Okay. And this one company I worked at, we were developing the location awareness stuff that is now in all of your phones, so, you're welcome.
Right.
Maybe this was a force for evil and we didn't even realize it, but...
I like it. I like to be able to go on Google Maps and go like, where are the restaurants?
Where am I? Yeah. It knows where you are. You know where you are. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So we were developing that stuff, and all of the programmers were philosophy majors. Every single one. And something about that environment of thinking deeply, the logical rigor that has to go along with this, primed them to become great programmers, innovative programmers. And that's what you see a lot of times with philosophy majors. They don't go into one specific thing. Right? So nursing majors go into nursing, engineering majors become engineers. Philosophy majors become all sorts of different things. And so there is no one route to success. But I can say on a practical level, philosophy majors tend to out-earn other liberal arts degrees. So watch out, history majors, right?
So what you're telling me is that if I pursue philosophy, I'm not guaranteed to be bankrupt.
You're not guaranteed? No, certainly not.
No.
In fact, one of the first philosophers, Thales, invented stock future trades.
Oh, well, good for Thales.
Yeah, he became fantastically wealthy because he was able to notice something no one else did.
Now, didn't Thales also think everything was water?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure it's the same guy.
Yes, same guy.
Same guy.
But he was a great mathematician as well, and there was all this work on a predicting the eclipse. And this was a long time ago. This is like 500, 600 BC. It's amazing.
Good for Thales. So be a philosophy major, think about the nature of reality, and somehow become a great stock trader too.
Yeah, if you want to. And there's lots of opportunities here too. Like if maybe you're like me and think, well, not only do you want to do philosophy, but you enjoy these new ventures, things like the stuff I used to do with startups. We have an Entrepreneurship Center here, sponsored by the McNair Foundation. And you can attach that to whatever degree you take, even the philosophy degree. So go study what you want, start a business, become wealthy.
Speaking of the McNair Center, we have a new building on campus.
Yes.
Yes, and I know that sometimes some of our McNair classes are over there in our new building. And have you been over to the new building?
I teach in it.
Okay, yes, so tell us about it.
It's beautiful.
Also its name, because I didn't mention that.
It's the Moores Family, I'm going to get
Center.
it. Center for Law and Liberty.
Yeah.
I always see it as the acronym on my classroom. So it's I guess technically a 4-building complex. The main one is a replica of Independence Hall.
Great.
Has a lot of historical stuff in there, including, I think, a replica of the courtroom that John Adams defended the British soldiers for the Boston Massacre. Yeah, really cool.
Good.
I think even the furniture in there is almost identical to the one in Philadelphia.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger because this is Texas.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But other than that, and then it's got a large classroom building. That's where I teach, and it's a smaller classroom that is all based on interactive media, putting together teams. Really neat, high-tech classroom, and that's the one that the Entrepreneurship Center, the Moores, not the McNair Foundation uses.
Great.
I've secretly started calling it the jealousy classroom.
Okay.
Everybody wishes they could teach in there.
Yeah.
It's that nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You play Smash Brothers in there?
I do not. No, I'm terrible at Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. Too much pushing. My thumbs get tired.
Yeah. No need to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Different topic.
Sure.
So recently, we went through a really exciting change here at Houston Christian University. We used to be Houston Baptist University.
Yeah. I still occasionally let it slip out. My
Yeah.
class, will correct me. Like, no.
We're HCU.
HCU, yes.
Yeah, I'll find myself typing it or something like that. So how long have you been at the university?
Since 2008, so almost 15 years.
Yeah, so this might be a new change and something you're getting used to. I also know that you and your family have deep Baptist roots.
Yes.
So maybe tell us a little bit about that and your reflections on the change.
Yeah. Which part? The Baptist roots?
Tell us about that first.
So my dad's a Baptist minister, near retirement. We keep trying to get him to retire, but Baptist ministers, they don't want to retire. They want to keep preaching.
Yeah.
So, and then I've been in a Baptist church, grew up in a Baptist church, and went to a Baptist school. I went to DBU for my undergrad. The name change, I think, was a little jarring at first. I have to admit, I was like, wait, no, Baptist, I'm Baptist, it's my home. But in a lot of ways, I think it's more descriptive of what HCU is really like. So there's plenty of Baptists here like me, and we haven't changed anything about our ideals or our mission statement, nothing. It's just a little bit more descriptive. If you look at our faculty as a whole, there's every single Christian denomination and tradition presented. So, and the same thing for our students. In fact, many of our students aren't Christian at all, and we welcome everyone to come. So, so in a way, it's more descriptive. So I like that. One of the neat things, though, that being a Baptist, having Baptist in the name, used to do is during the summers, I would often talk to incoming students, and they would ask me to talk about, faith integration, why a Christian school or Baptist school. And with the word Baptist in there, I could say some things about why I thought Baptist ideals worked especially well in a university. So one of them, so if you think about like the Baptist distinctives, some of them I don't think have all that much to do with the university, like baptism by immersion. Yeah. It's like, I don't think we don't have a baptismal font on campus, and so that kind of doesn't matter.
We have the friendship pond, I guess, but like no.
No.
I don't think
Does anyone get baptized in the friendship pond?
I don't know. I hope not, actually.
Water's kind of dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's like Naaman and the Jordan River. It's like, just wash and be clean. It's fine. No, but some of those distinctives, like one especially, is the independence of the local congregation.
Okay.
So if you think about all the different Christian traditions, some of them are quite hierarchical. Right? If there's a dispute between two congregations, there's a bishop you can talk to, there's somebody that can set people straight, someone calling the shots. And with each congregation being independent, the tools that we have really are trying to convince each other. We have to use argumentation, we have to find evidence, we have to win over the other people, which you might not have to do in something with a more of a pyramid style structure. So I think it causes us to be at our best. Now sometimes Baptists, I mean, I've been Baptist for a long time, sometimes we don't do that well, and we just say, well, we can't talk to those people anymore. You know, churches will split up over things, and but it shouldn't be that way. The way it should be is that we take that opportunity to really, really meet with each other and try to find common ground. And so we have to value argumentation and evidence and rhetoric, something that we should value. The other thing too is that we're among other denominational groups that believe in the Scripture being the final authority.
Right.
Which, I don't know if you've read the Bible lately, but it is a very complicated book. There's a bunch of different genres. It's written over a bunch of different time periods, multiple languages. So you really, in order to do it well, you have to understand a lot about literature, a lot about history. You have to know how to interpret a text, which is different from just looking at the grammar and saying, okay, here's the subject and the verb, but to really understand what it means. It's a lot of work. And so it would naturally cause us to value those things more. So why would a school have such a dedication, a Baptist school have such dedication to the liberal arts? Well, because history, literature, interpretation, these things are required in order to read the Bible well. And if we're responsible to do that on our own, then we need to make sure we emphasize those. So I think having that Baptist heritage gives us a little bit of an edge academically, and it was always fun to present on that. So I'm going to have to retool that and figure out a different way to explain that to our
I think those values are still here.
Oh yeah, certainly. It's just easy to talk about it when we say the word Baptist, but those values haven't gone anywhere, for sure.
Right. Well, that's great. One final question here. So I know that you also are something of a movie critic, I think.
Oh dear.
Among other things.
Yeah.
What have you been watching? What's interesting out there?
So I'm going to say something kind of shocking. I think 2022 was a great year for movies.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There was a lot that came out this year that was a lot of fun. So the new Batman, I thought was great. I'm actually one of the few people I know that liked the new Thor film.
Oh yeah? No, I liked it.
So, I mean, it was zany, it was out there. I have teenage daughters, so it's been really interesting showing them films that I thought were good. So when they're really little, you're watching mostly musicals,
That's all right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But now they're the age where we can actually watch some good stuff. So the one that I've been recommending that everybody see, and not from this year, it's from a few years ago, is Leave No Trace, which is about a war veteran and his daughter. But I think movies, when they're done well, give us a chance to explore our empathy with people that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do. So as much as sometimes movies are like thrill rides now, and it's just the spectacle, and which is fun, which I really like. They do have the ability to connect us to each other, and so when I find those, I like to recommend them to people.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. It's my pleasure to sit and talk with Dr. Hemati. If you want to talk with him more, come study with him, maybe pursue a philosophy degree or some of these other degrees we talked about, be sure to look us up on our website. You can just Google Houston Christian University graduate programs or Houston Christian University philosophy, and I'm sure you'll find us. So, thank you.